Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest desire of a man is not what the world tells you. It's not beauty, not money, and not status. It's a feeling that ignites his purpose, fuels his passion, and draws him closer to the one who gives it. Tonight, I'll reveal the one thing that makes a man cherish, honor, and commit to a woman like never before. The greatest desire of a man is not what the world often tells us. It's not just beauty, not wealth, not status. Those things may attract him, but they will never keep him. A man can have everything, success, power, respect, but if it's missing this one feeling, he will feel empty. And when a man feels empty, he starts searching for something or someone who makes him feel alive. A man's deepest longing is to feel like a king, to feel honored, valued, and respected, not just for what he does, but for who he is. When a woman understands this, she unlocks a level of loyalty, devotion, and commitment that no force on earth can break. See, a man isn't just looking for love. He's looking for a place where he feels safe, to be vulnerable, where he's empowered, where he's reminded of his worth. And the moment he finds that, he will do everything to protect it. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. A man doesn't respond to pressure, he responds to purpose. He doesn't thrive under criticism, he thrives under encouragement. When a man is constantly told what he lacks, where he fails, how he's not measuring up, he withdraws. He starts shutting down. He starts feeling like no matter what he does, it's never enough. But when a woman recognizes his strengths, sees his potential, and speaks life into him, suddenly he stands taller. He thinks bigger. He starts moving with a different kind of confidence because in her presence, he doesn't feel small. He feels powerful. A man will cross oceans, climb mountains, and fight battles for the one who makes him feel like he's enough, like he's needed, like he matters. Not because he's perfect, not because he has it all figured out, but because in her eyes, he is still worthy. And when a man feels worthy, he will move the world for the one who makes him feel that way. But here's the reality most people ignore. If a man doesn't feel that in a relationship, he will start looking for it elsewhere. Not always in another woman, but sometimes in his work, his hobbies, his distractions. Anything that makes him feel like he's winning. Because a man will always gravitate towards where he feels the most valued. So the question is, are you making him feel like a king? Are you speaking to the greatness inside of him? Because the woman who does never has to chase, beg, or demand. She naturally becomes the most irreplaceable presence in his life. Now you may be wondering, if this is so powerful, why don't more people talk about it? What is it that makes some women able to inspire a man to reach his highest potential while others struggle to keep his attention? That, my friends, is the next secret most people don't understand. Have you ever wondered what a man truly craves from a woman? What makes him feel drawn? Not just physically, but emotionally connected so deeply that he can't imagine life without her? It's not what most people think. It's not just attraction, not just chemistry, not even love alone. A man craves something far deeper. A man longs to feel respected, not just in the way you talk to him, but in the way you see him. Because when a man feels respected, something awakens inside of him. He feels stronger, more capable, more purposeful. He starts moving with confidence, making decisions with clarity, and stepping into his true potential. But when a man feels disrespected, when he feels dismissed, belittled, or made to feel small, he starts to shut down. He withdraws, he loses passion, he becomes distant. And here's the truth, many women don't even realize when it's happening. They think they're helping, think they're guiding, think they're correcting for his own good. But in the process, They strip away the very thing that makes a man feel like a man. A man doesn't need a woman to control him, to fix him, or to constantly remind him of what he's doing wrong. What he needs is a woman who believes in him, a woman who speaks to his potential instead of his problems, a woman who sees his strengths even when he's struggling. Because let me tell you something, when a man feels like a winner in a woman's presence, he never wants to leave that presence. But when he feels like a constant disappointment, he starts finding reasons to stay away. This is why some relationships feel so effortless, while others feel like a never-ending struggle. It's not always about love. It's about the way love is given. A man will always gravitate toward the person who makes him feel like he's enough. That's why some men spend more time at work than at home. That's why some men seem to lose interest in a relationship that once felt so strong. It's not because they don't care, it's because they don't feel like they matter. But when a woman understands how to give a man the respect he craves, he will move mountains for her. He will work harder, dream bigger, and fight with everything in him to protect and cherish her. Because in his mind, she is his greatest source of strength, not his greatest source of stress. So the question is, are you making him feel like he's winning, or are you constantly reminding him where he falls short? Because the way you make him feel will determine the way he responds. Now, you might be thinking, how do I apply this in a real relationship? What are the words, the actions, the small shifts that make all the difference? That, my friends, is the next piece of the puzzle. There is one feeling that every man secretly craves, but very few ever put into words. It's not just love, not just attraction, not even admiration. It's a feeling so powerful that once a man experiences it, he will never want to let go of the woman who gives it to him. It's the feeling of being needed. See, a man doesn't just want to be loved. He wants to feel like his presence makes a difference, like his efforts matter, like he is more than just an option. He is an essential part of your life. And when a woman makes a man feel needed, he doesn't just love her, he becomes devoted to her. He wants to protect, provide, and give his best because he feels like his role in her life has purpose. But here's where many people get it wrong. A woman might say, of course I need him. I tell him I love him. I appreciate him. But a man doesn't just listen to words. He pays attention to actions. If he feels like he's replaceable, like his presence or absence doesn't really change anything, he will start to pull away. Not because he doesn't love you, but because deep down, he doesn't feel like he's making an impact. A man needs to know that what he brings to the table is valued, that his hard work, his sacrifices, his decisions, and even his presence bring something meaningful to your life. Because when a man feels like he doesn't contribute to your happiness, he starts to wonder, why am I even here? And once a man starts questioning his place, he starts looking for an exit. Now, here's the secret. Making a man feel needed isn't about being weak, helpless, or dependent. It's not about playing games or pretending you can't do things on your own. No, it's about recognizing and appreciating the unique things he does bring to your life. It's about letting him lead in certain areas, even when you're fully capable. It's about acknowledging his strengths and making room for his contributions. Because the moment a man feels like his role in your life is important, he will invest in that relationship with everything he has. Have you ever noticed how a man lights up when he fixes something for you? When he helps solve a problem? When he feels like he's protecting or supporting you in some way? That's because in those moments, he feels like he's fulfilling his people. He's not just there, he's needed. And that feeling, That's what makes a man stay. That's what makes him choose you over and over again. So ask yourself, does he feel like an essential part of your life? Does he feel like what he does for you matters? Because when a man feels truly needed, his love only grows stronger. But there's something even more powerful. Something that makes a man not just stay, but fight for you, protect you, and put you above everything else. And that, my friends, is the next key that changes everything. There is one truth about men that many people overlook. A man does not just want to feel loved, he wants to feel inspired. He wants to look at the woman beside him and see someone who believes in him, who fuels his ambition, who makes him feel like he can conquer the world. Because a man does not rise to his full potential alone. He rises when he has a woman who speaks to his greatness, even when he can't see it himself. A man will fight for the woman who makes him feel like more than what the world tells him he is, more than what his past says about him, more than the doubts in his mind. When a woman understands her power to inspire, she doesn't have to chase a man, convince him, or beg him to stay. He stays because he feels stronger with her than without her. But here's what happens when a man does not feel inspired. He starts to settle. He plays small. He avoids risk. He stops dreaming. And the worst part, he may not even realize why. He just feels unmotivated, lost, and disconnected. And if a man feels uninspired for too long, he will start looking for anything that reignites that fire inside of him. Some men turn to work, burying themselves in their careers to feel a sense of achievement. Others turn to distractions, sports, hobbies, even unhealthy habits, because they are searching for something that makes them feel alive again. But when a man has a woman who fuels his passion, who challenges him to grow, who reminds him of who he is when the world makes him doubt himself, he has no reason to look anywhere else. Now, let me tell you something. A woman's power to inspire is not about controlling a man, nor is it about stroking his ego. It's about recognizing his strengths and calling them out. It's about speaking life into his dreams, even when they seem impossible. It's about making him feel like a king, not by worshiping him, but by seeing the leader inside of him. Because when a man feels like a king beside a woman, he will treat her like a queen. Think about this. When was the last time you told him you believe in him? Not just I love you, but I see something great in you. Those words can change a man's entire perspective. A man will always give his best to the woman who makes him feel like he is capable of achieving his best, because in his heart, she is not just his partner, she is his greatest source of motivation. But there's something even more powerful than inspiration. Something that makes a man not only feel motivated, but deeply connected to you. Something that creates an unbreakable bond, a level of devotion that cannot be shaken. And that, my friends, is the next key to a man's heart. There is something that makes a man feel deeply connected to a woman. Something that goes beyond attraction, beyond love, beyond even respect. It's the feeling of being understood. A man may have the whole world praising him, respecting him, even following him. But if the woman beside him does not truly understand who he is at his core, he will feel alone, even in her presence. A man wants to know that he can be his true self with you. Not just a strong version, not just a provider, not just the one who has it all together. He wants to know that he can show you his struggles, his fears, his moments of doubt, and that you will still see him the same way. Because let me tell you something, most men walk through life carrying burdens they never speak about. They are expected to be strong, to figure things out, to have all the answers. But deep down, Sometimes they just want a place where they can exalt. And when a man finds a woman who gives him that space, he never wants to leave it. He becomes more open, more affectionate, more willing to share his world with her. Because with her, he doesn't have to pretend. He doesn't have to prove anything. He feels safe. But here's what happens when a man does not feel understood. He starts to shut down. He stops communicating. He pulls away, and suddenly the relationship feels distant. Not because he doesn't care, but because he doesn't feel like his emotions have a place. And if a man feels like he has to constantly explain himself, defend himself, or hide parts of who he is, he will start looking for spaces where he does feel understood. Now, let me make something clear. Understanding a man does not mean agreeing with everything he does. It does not mean ignoring his flaws or excusing his mistakes. It means seeing him beyond the surface, recognizing the why behind his actions, and creating an environment where he feels heard, not just judged. Have you ever noticed how a man will talk for hours about something he's passionate about, but when it comes to his feelings, he says very little? That's because most men don't share their emotions easily. They need to feel like it's safe. And when a woman makes it safe for a man to open up without criticism, without dismissing his feelings, without making him feel weak, he starts to trust her in a way he trusts no one else. And that's when the relationship changes. That's when he starts including you in his decisions, when he starts confiding in you, when he starts seeing you as his greatest partner, not just someone he loves. But there's one more thing, something that takes this connection to an even deeper level, something that makes a man not just open up, but completely devote himself to a woman. And that, my friends, is the next key that changes everything. There is one thing that has the power to make a man not just love a woman, but cherish her, protect her, and commit to her in a way that nothing else will. It's not just attraction. It's not just compatibility. It's the feeling of peace. A man may have everything, success, respect, admiration, but if he does not have peace in his relationship, he will never feel at home. Because let me tell you something, every man is fighting battles you do not see. Battles in his mind, pressures from the world, expectations he carries every single day. And when he comes home, when he's with the woman he loves, he's not looking for more stress. He's looking for a sanctuary. See, a man can handle chaos in his job. He can handle pressure in his responsibilities. But when his relationship feels like another battlefield, he starts to withdraw. He starts to lose motivation. He starts to feel like no matter what he does, it's never enough. And that is when a man shuts down, not because he doesn't care, but because he's tired. But when a woman understands the power of peace, she becomes irreplaceable. A man will never want to lose the woman who brings him peace. Because in a world that constantly demands, criticizes, and challenges him, she is the one place where he can breathe, where he can be himself, where he doesn't have to perform. He can just be. Now, this doesn't mean avoiding all conflict. This doesn't mean never expressing your needs. But it does mean knowing how to communicate. It means choosing wisdom over emotion, solutions over arguments, understanding over assumptions. Because the truth is, when a man feels like every conversation is a fight, when he feels like he can never do anything right, when he feels like no matter how hard he tries, he's always being criticized, he starts pulling away. But when he feels like his woman is his place of rest, his source of peace, his refuge from the chaos of life, he will do anything to keep her. He will protect her, honor her, and stay loyal to her, not because he has to, but because he wants to. Because a man does not leave peace, he chooses it. He fights for it. Think about this. When you speak to him, does he feel attached or does he feel understood? When he's around you, does he feel tense or does he feel safe? Because the way a man feels in your presence determines everything. But there's one more thing, something even deeper than peace. Something that makes a man not only cherish you, but completely devote himself to you in a way that no other woman can replace. And that, my friends, is the next key that unlocks a man's heart. There is something that makes a man not only stay, but stay loyal, stay committed, and stay devoted to one woman. Something that makes him see her as the one person he could never replace. It's not just beauty. It's not just love. It's the feeling of being appreciated. A man can give his best, provide, protect, sacrifice, and still feel empty if he does not feel appreciated. Because let me tell you something, men don't just want to be loved, they want to feel valued. They want to know that what they do matters, that their efforts are seen, that who they are and what they bring to the relationship is recognized. And when a man feels like nothing he does is ever enough, that's when he starts to shut down. See, a man will climb mountains for a woman who simply acknowledges his efforts. It doesn't take much. A simple, I see how hard you're working, or I appreciate everything you do, can ignite something in a man that no other force can. Because when a man feels appreciated, he will give more, he will love harder, he will go above and beyond, not because he has to, but because he wants to. But when a man feels appreciated, when he feels like his efforts are expected but never acknowledged, when he feels like no matter how much he gives, it's taken for granted, that's when he starts questioning everything. That's when he starts feeling disconnected. That's when the relationship begins to lose its spark. Now, some women might say, but he already knows I appreciate him. No. A man needs to hear it. He needs to feel it. Because let me tell you, the same way a woman needs affection to feel loved, a man needs appreciation to feel secure. It fuels him. It strengthens him. It makes him want to be an even better man for you. And it's not about grand gestures. It's about the little things. A word of encouragement when he's doubting himself. A thank you when he does something, even if it seems small. A moment where you stop and say, I see you. I see everything you do, and it means something to me. That is what makes a man fall even deeper in love. Because a man may be strong, but he is not emotionless. He may not always say it, but he needs to feel like he matters. And the woman who makes a man feel like his presence, his work, his love, and his efforts are valuable, that woman will never have to worry about losing him. But there's something even deeper than appreciation. Something that makes a man not just stay, but pour his entire heart and soul into a woman. And that, my friends, is the next key that changes everything. There is something that goes beyond love, beyond attraction, beyond even appreciation, something that makes a man not just stay, but commit his heart, his mind, and his future to one woman. It's the feeling of respect. A man can be deeply in love, he can give his all, but if he does not feel respected, he will slowly start to pull away. Because for a man, respect is not just a word, it is the foundation of how he connects, how he loves, and how he gives himself to a woman. When a man feels respected, he feels empowered. He feels like he can conquer anything. But when he feels disrespected, even in the smallest ways, he starts to shut down. See, a man does not just want a woman who loves him. He wants a woman who believes in him, who speaks to him with honor, who sees his potential even when he can't see it himself. Because let me tell you, the way a woman speaks to a man has the power to build him up or tear him down. A man will remember the words spoken to him long after the conversation is over. And the truth is, a man's greatest need is not to be controlled, not to be changed, but to be respected for who he is, as he is. That doesn't mean ignoring his mistakes. That doesn't mean knowing how to communicate. It means correcting without belittling, advising without controlling, and expressing your feelings without making him feel like he is less of a man. Because let me tell you, when a man feels disrespected, he may not always argue, he may not always fight back, but he will start to distance himself. He will start spending more time at work, more time with friends, more time anywhere except in the presence of the one who makes him feel like he is never enough. But when a woman understands the power of respect, she unlocks something in a man that makes him give her everything. Because the moment a man feels truly respected, he naturally responds with more love, more devotion, more desire to protect and provide. It's not manipulation, it's human nature. A man gives his best to the woman who sees his worth even before he fully becomes the man he's meant to be. So ask yourself, when you speak to him, does he feel honored or does he feel dismissed? When he makes decisions, does he feel supported or does he feel criticized? Because the way you make a man feel determines the way he loves you. But there's one more thing, something that goes even deeper than respect. Something that makes a man not just commit, but make you the center of his world. And that, my friends, is the next key that changes everything. There is something that makes a man not just love a woman, not just stay with her, but make her the center of his world. Something that shifts his focus, his priorities, and even his priority. It's not just respect. It's not just appreciation. It's the feeling of being needed. A man does not just want to be loved, he wants to feel like he has a price in a woman's life. He wants to know that he brings value, that his presence makes a difference, that without him something would be missing. Because let me tell you, when a man feels like he is not needed, he starts to feel empty. He starts to feel lost. He starts to question his role in the relationship. See, society tells men to be strong, independent, unbreakable. But the truth is, a man's greatest strength comes from knowing he is needed. That his woman doesn't just want him, she values him. She relies on him. She trusts him to provide something that no one else can. And when a man feels that, he will move mountains to protect and provide for the woman who makes him feel like he is indispensable. But here's where so many relationships go wrong. Sometimes a woman becomes so independent, so self-sufficient, so I don't need a man for anything, that the man starts to feel replaced. And when a man feels like he is not needed, he starts to withdraw. He starts to feel like his role has no meaning. And listen to me, if a man ever starts to feel like he is just there, like he is just an extra in your life instead of a necessary part of it, his heart will begin to disconnect. Now, this doesn't mean being weak. It doesn't mean being helpless, but it does mean allowing him to lead. It means letting him protect. It means asking for his input, valuing his guidance, trusting his decisions. Because when a man feels like he is contributing to your life in a meaningful way, he doesn't just stay, he invests. He pours more of his energy, more of his time, more of his love into you because he knows he is making a difference. And it doesn't take much. A simple, I need your help with this, or what do you think, can ignite something in a man that makes him feel like he has a place in your life. Because every man, no matter how strong, wants to know that he is needed. And the woman who understands this, she will have a man who will never want to leave her. But there is one more thing, one final key that takes a relationship from ordinary to extraordinary. Something that makes a man not just stay, but give his heart, his soul, and his loyalty like never before. And that, my friends, is the last key that changes everything. There is one thing that makes a man not just love a woman, not just stay with her, but cherish her, honor her, and be loyal to her in a way that no other woman could ever replace. It's the feeling of peace.